Hey everybody, it's me, Cassie again, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a delicious homemade bread right from my front porch in the pouring rain. It's gorgeous out here today. You're going to hear some thunder, maybe see some lightning, so it's perfect. So the first thing you're going to want to start with is 2.5 cups of warm water. I've already got this prepared, so I'm just going to pour it in. Also, these ingredients are so easy. There's only 5 ingredients if you count the water as 6. So this is a dairy-free bread mix. So it's for all of you out there that have dairy intolerances, this is perfect bread to make. And so now I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. And I just use regular flour, but you can also get bread flour, which you see here. I have used this recently, and the only difference in it is it's a little bit denser, but it's also got vitamin D in it, which the regular flour I don't think has that in it. So they added that in. And so now I'm just going to stir this with a fork. Super easy. And lots of fun. You can get your kids in on this. And if they make it a few times, this is one of those recipes that you can just make and you don't even need to look at the recipe because it's so easy. Yeah, so you're just going to want to mix that together a little bit, kind of get it going. Okay. And then you're going to want to mix your other ingredients. And so the first thing you're going to add is your salt, which I guess it doesn't really matter, but you're going to put 1 teaspoon of salt in. It doesn't really matter the order, I guess. This is just how I always do it. So 1 teaspoon of salt. Then you're going to add your active dry yeast. And you're going to add 1 tablespoon. And I just, add it, fill it to the top there, pour it in. And then you're going to add a 1/2 cup of oil. I don't use any particular brand. My mom had this last time she was at my house, and that's what I'm using right now to use it up. So, and then you're going to add your 1/2 cup of honey. And I don't have the honey that I would normally like to use, but I would like to give a shout out to the Gretchen Bee Ranch. They have honey that they sell and all kinds of different things out at their, this is making the funniest noise. It sounds like anyway, it's at the end. And it's making like these fart noises, and it's really funny. I'm very easily humored. But yeah, I want to get all of that, but I bought some more honey just in case. But back to the 10 Gretchen, her and her husband have a really amazing bee ranch, and they sell all kinds of amazing honey and different flavors, and I think they even sell like lip balms and candles. I'm not sure, but you'll have to check it out. They're out in Seguin, so if you're in the area, you should definitely go check them out. And so then I'm going to pour my honey in, and the reason I do the oil before the honey is because if you put the honey in after the oil, then the honey just kind of like comes right out really easily and it doesn't stick. And mine's kind of sticking a little bit. I don't know why. Usually it just pours right out, but maybe because it was like at the end of the honey, it's extra sticky. Now I'll mix all of this together with my fork I was using earlier. And you're just going to mix all these ingredients together. Make sure I got them all. Yep. If you have a mixer at home, obviously you can use that. I personally do not like using machinery, like machines and stuff like that, or I don't like all that extra kitchen stuff. I like cooking my vegetables with a knife, and I like making my bread with my hands. And so, but you know, everybody has their way of doing things. I just prefer not to have all the extra stuff in my kitchen, mostly because it takes up a lot of room, but also because I don't like cleaning it. So that's probably the real reason. And so now we're going to begin to add the rest of our flour. This is super easy part. It's around 7 cups of flour is what it so 7 cups will make 2 loaves of bread. So this is technically my 3rd cup. I'm just going to add that and keep stirring it in. And eventually around like cup 6, it's going to be getting so thick that you're going to have to start using your hands. So when you start this process, make sure your hands are super clean. Wow, I use the word super a lot, don't I? I just realized that. But yeah, make sure your hands are clean when you're doing this, because you're going to be sticking your fingers right in here, and you're not going to want to have to stop and go wash your hands and everything. So I'm going to add another cup. This will be cup number 4, technically. At this point, it's getting pretty thick. This is what, number 5 or 6? I lost count. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to be able to tell which one it is by how thick it gets. Okay. And this one's going to be a little sticky. The next time you do it, you'll see it's not going to be like that at all. It's going to be different after it rises the first time. Okay, you just want to like scrape all of that flour, kind of get it all in there, and then just keep kneading it. And mine's still a little sticky, so you just kind of you'll get the feel for it. You'll know. And then you just kind of pick it up like this, and then you just push it down with your hands. Pick it up, push it down, and that's kneading your bread. This is what you have. Got this big lump of dough. It's soft, and it's not falling apart though. You can see it's all staying together. And at this point, you're going to take your oil. You're going to pour a little bit of oil in the bottom of your mixing pan. And I just kind of circle it around like that. Just kind of rub it around. And then you're going to put your yeast back, your little dough baby, into the pan. Now we're going to take this to the kitchen. It's going to set for an hour and a half. You're going to cover it with a cloth. You can set it if your kitchen's kind of, if you don't keep your house super air conditioned, you can set it on your counter. If you do, I suggest that turn the oven on for 5 minutes on bake, like 350 bake, and it'll probably get up to like 160, maybe 200. Turn it off, so that's like maybe letting it stay on for 5 to 6 minutes. Turn it off, and then by the time you're done doing all of this, put your bread in the oven and it'll rise faster. And just do the same thing as you would if you were putting it on your stove or in your kitchen somewhere. Just cover it up and set it in there. Set your timer for an hour and a half, and then an hour and a half your bread's going to be like up to here, and then we're going to do the next step. So let's take the bread to the kitchen. Okay, so the dough has risen. Now we're just going to push it down. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm just kind of pushing it down. Grabbing the bottom here and just turning it under. Just like that. You want to knead your dough for, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 15 times. I don't know, I never count. I usually just stop when I'm tired. I'm like, okay, that's probably good enough. I don't know. Should probably look that up or something. I'm sure there's people out there making bread that do this a lot better than I do. But this is just something I wanted to share with y'all because it's just so easy. I feel like you can't really mess this up. You can make rolls out of this too. So you just do the same thing. You just pinch it off and put it in your little cupcake things. Edwin's laughing at me right now because I said pinch, right? I knew it. I knew that's why you're laughing at me. Okay, so at this point, you've got your little dough baby here, and now I'm going to just pinch this in half. So basically, that's what I literally do. I just tear it in half. I just kind of go right down the line here. And then at this point, here, you can just kind of pat it down a little bit. This is not my best that I've done, of course, because we're videoing it. Usually it's a little smoother. It's not so sticky. It's usually not the sticky, but it's still going to be great. Just do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Just try it, you know. Figure out what works for you. And you won't know if you can do it unless you try. So, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. All right, so make sure that you grease your pans. You're just going to want to put a little oil in the bottom and just smear it around with a paper towel, or you can just use some cooking spray or whatever. It doesn't matter. Throw your dough in there, cover it, and let it rise for 1 more hour. So the first time you let it rise for 1.5 hours, and then the second time you punched it down and you kneaded it again and you divided it in 2, and now you're going to let it rise for 1 hour, and then you're going to cook it at 350 for 30 minutes, and then you have your bread. It's so easy. So I'm going to cover this and put it in I've already got some bread cooking right now, so I did some earlier also. So I'm just going to set this bread on top of my stove over here, and I'm just going to let it rise, and then when it gets done, we'll come over and take a look at it. So there you go. Okay, so our dough has risen, and now we are the dough has risen. So now we're going to put it in the oven and bake it for 30 minutes at 350. Do you get a close-up of this, Edwin? Look how beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the oven, and off we go. 30 minutes. Perfect. Okay, so my timer just went off and I'm going to take the bread out, and you're going to see how nice and fluffy and wonderful it is. 30 minutes. And if you want it a little browner on top, you can leave it in longer, but that looks perfect to me. And this is how easy it is to make homemade bread. You're just gonna let it cool for a minute. Some people use a little rack. I don't. I just toss it right over onto my cutting board, and I just start cutting it up and putting butter on it right away and let it all melt, and it's so wonderful. And if you're wondering why my hair is wet, it's not because I'm sweating. Yes, I just took a shower, and yes, I put the same dress back on because that's what people do. They wear the same clothes throughout their whole video, and I thought it would be weird if I changed clothes. But so yeah, it's supposed to look like I just did this all in one fell swoop, but it takes a few hours here and there, and been a long day and I'm tired. So here you go. Fresh bread. This will make me so happy again.